Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm literally a fan of all these people before. I've been a fan of Drake's movies since Like Crazy, like a lot of us. And a big fan of Sebastian's, big fan of Shay's. So it's, it's one of those things of being a fan of these people and then working with them, and they are they're more impressive than you even imagine them to be, and more giving and open. And I really lucked out with these people,
What's the heart of this story for you?
It's very much Daphne's journey, who Shay plays. It's a journey of discovery, and she's a woman who's thrust into a very relatable situation, and we watch her navigate their way through that, and I think ultimately make her own choices, which I think is an important message. Women making their own choices, and yes, being influenced by the men that are around, but them not having the final say. I think it's a good time to be telling stories like that.
The freedom.
Best experience I've ever had on a film set in so many ways, because we just got to play and communicate and be honest and be real and be vulnerable and be emotive.
It's real life, and it's about relationships and love and hate and everything.
Fellini did the same thing with little drawing,
Yeah.
Truffaut did the same thing by just,
those are incredible filmmakers. I'm just a guy trying to figure out my love life. So,
That's
how it goes.
Of course we think, love triangle, we think 1962. We think love triangle, we think 1962. You graduated from the AFI, you're an auteur.
Yeah.
Jules and Jim.
Oh, yeah, no, very much so, yeah. No, we definitely, Jardine and I we watched that movie before we started writing, and we're thinking about that. It's an incredible film, and there's a lot of films I think that inspired us.
This is a love life that is not really talked much of in movies. It's like the love life out of the box.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it's messy. Relationships and love is messy. It's not black and white. You don't just go from one thing, it ends, and then take the appropriate amount of time off and then start something new. There's always that weird washover that makes things messy, and I really wanted to capture the truth of what that feels like.
The story follows Daphne, who's a young woman living in modern Los Angeles. It follows her through the course of a year, through love, through heartbreak, through endings, beginnings. And she's kind of not sure what she's running from or what she's looking for, but she figures out a lot of that in the course of the film.
Can you talk a little bit about the unique qualities Shailene has that makes her the perfect fit for this character?
I think she just brings a level of realness while also bringing such a big heart to it. So it has a little bit of verite to it and a little bit of authenticity, but without losing a tremendous amount of soul. She was absolutely beyond the perfect person to play Daphne.
I think we've heard from some of the cast already that this was quite a free-form way of shooting, and it wasn't as tightly bound to a script as any other product that would have been. Can you talk a little bit about that unique aspect of the production?
I'm a novelist, so Drake and I put together a script that is part prose and part script, and it really was created to invite the actors to bring what they wanted to the film. So there were spaces in the actual document where they were asked to use whatever they thought was right for that moment. It was a really exciting process to watch unfold.
And talking about exciting, Drake is a director that I think everyone has a very special reverence for. Can you talk a little bit about what makes him such a unique storyteller in your opinion?
I fell in love, as everybody did, with Like Crazy. I feel like it just told stories about ourselves and about love in a way that showed kind of like the ugly parts or the less often talked about parts in a way that culminated in something really beautiful.
So I play Daphne, Shailene Woodley's sister, and she, on this journey that she's on, trying to figure out her life, she comes and she lives with my husband and my child and I in our house. And I'm kind of her sounding board when she's weighing options or just trying to make decisions, and I think that it's a really beautiful portrayal of family as well, of just like the fact that sisters don't judge you, and I'm just like, I'm here for the ride. Whatever you need from me, I will provide.
Shailene is one of our favorite actresses. Can you talk a little bit, as someone who's worked with her, about what you think makes her so very special and so perfect for this role?
I think that this role is it's going to really surprise, not that it will surprise people in the fact that we've already known she's an amazing actress, but this feels like the most vulnerable and raw and maybe true to her personal journey that I've seen so far. And she's just one of the most open, wonderful people. And the fact that this movie was mostly basically improvised, the whole movie. And it really stemmed from us sitting around and talking about life and relationships and what we want out of life and what we're looking for. And that's how, you know, based on this beautiful kind of journal that we had going into it, that's how we created these scenes. And so it's her heart just exploding on the screen, and it's beautiful.
You talk a little bit, I mean, that's such a unique free-form way of working.
It's the craziest thing I've ever done. It's the first time I've ever done a movie that's all improv. Normally I'm a part of very big, broad comedies where jokes become free-form and you're like, take that and run with it in this certain part here and there. But to have the whole movie be that way, it was so like liberating and exciting and exhilarating, and I think it just allowed us all to be super set in the moment and present, because you have to listen to what the person is saying so you can respond. And I think it just shows that it's just like, this is us exploring life that happens to be on camera.
Of course, when you're doing something like that, you need to have absolute confidence in your director.
Completely. And he is a walking nerve, he is a walking heart, and he's made movies that have basically been like, here's my soul, come check it out. And he's a beautiful guide. And so before every scene, we would break down every beat and every point that we needed to get to, that we needed to hit. And so by the time we were actually shooting, it just felt like two people having like a friendly conversation, because he's so effortless in the way that he guides us.
Obviously, this film has lots of beautiful moments on screen. I'm curious, when you look back at your time on set, is there one memory that makes you smile the most, or is the most precious to you from this production?
Yeah, actually, the very first scene that Shay and I shot is a scene that's somewhere in the movie, and it's kind of an innocuous scene, but there was just such instant chemistry. And, you know, as an actress, I had already met her. We had already, like, solidified, like, a nice rapport with each other. But as an actress showing up to your first day of work, it's very nerve-wracking, and it's nerve-wracking that it's just, like, there's no script. I mean, there's a guideline, but, like, where are we going with this? And it just flowed so beautifully after the first take that we just, like, hugged each other. We're just like, we want to do more of this. It's so fun. So I think the very first moment that we shot.
What else is coming up for you the rest of the year and beyond after this one?
I'm developing a TV show and just keeping all fingers crossed.
I guess my final question, we're hardcore Sabrina fans, and I'm curious if you've seen the new version and how you feel about that.
I did. I saw the pilot. I watched. It's very dark. It's a really, really cool show, but it's not the Sabrina that I can show my 7-year-old daughter. But it's very sweet, because she's now starting to watch the older ones that I was in, and it's a really, like, that's such a family-friendly, wonderful version. But the new one is definitely, like, raw and real. It's cool. It's cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey!